Hello everyone. Everything seems to be frozen. Connect. What? Well, I'm supposed to be live and I'm not seeing it. I think I should be live now. Can you see and hear me? Oh, wonderful. Oh, I just remembered I didn't turn down my own volume. I better do that so we don't have any strange sounds. Oh, we definitely understand typos. It's kind of been a crazy morning for me. Great. Thank you. I'm glad you can see me and hear me. And I think all my cameras are working, so I had a disorganized morning, so I'm hoping the class stays more organized than my morning's been. Of course, I'm kind of a disorganized person to begin with, so we'll give it a few minutes here. It's not quite 1 o'clock. Has anybody started working on anything this week? Oh, oh, Katia, yeah, I think you and Tammy and I are awful a lot alike. Although Tammy really seems to be way on the ball, and your video classes, Katia, are wonderful. So, oh, that's great, Kathleen. And I might as well start talking about the class because of you mentioning the doily tallies that are unusual shapes. Oh, perhaps paisley shape. Oh, that'd be wonderful, Dwayne. I love that idea. You're welcome, Katia. I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly now. Although Katia always just sounded so beautiful, too. So, we're going to talk a bit about organization today. We're going to go over the starting your design. I have many times before started paisley design, so I have some information already collected on it, and I'll show you some of that today. Keep saying the one you like to say. You love how it sounds. Okay, Katia, I do too. I guess I feel like it's almost kind of a French pronunciation. I don't know why, it just sounds that way. So I've put up a supply list. Were you all able to get the documents? That link problem that was happening even on, I don't know if it started with Tammy's class or with yours, Katia. I made the post and put it up, and I had to delete it a couple times and repost it, and I finally gave up because the document links in Facebook just wouldn't show up. The links themselves, it didn't make them live. Now, if I went in to edit and tried to edit it, yeah, when I went in to try and edit it, it showed me all the live links. But then when I'd save it, they were gone again. So that's why I finally just put that line up there to send you to the Tatting Design Lessons page and get them from there. I don't know what's wrong with Facebook, but it doesn't like more than one link on there. At least the class link went on. So that's what was happening with that. And the design planning sheet, you'll notice, has two different ones. It's got a PDF, so you can just print it out and write on it. I also put it up as a Word document so that you can actually open, and rather than writing in information, you'd be able to type right into it. And you could change it. If you'd like things a little bit different on that sheet, you could make it fit your own style and what you need for that project. So that's why there's two different documents for that. Let's start with the supply list. Let me grab that. Oh, it's not in my little list here. Well, if you've downloaded it, you can take a look at it. I don't know if you have any questions about it, ask me right now. I'm looking for my clipboard. In case anybody wonders, I think I mentioned it last week, but I'll mention it again. Take some things off my clipboard here and get down to where I have my little bird drawing, which is still sitting on my clipboard. But this, I think I mentioned last week, that when you are drawing your designs in pencil, if you're tatting and you go to lay your design um, over the top, especially if it's a light color, it can get pencil all over it. But this, you can see, there's kind of a shine on here. So this is the acetate page. You can see, I think it's an inkjet transparency page. I happened to find a box of them at our local Goodwill, and so I picked it up, and it works great. Otherwise, even a piece of plastic wrap, I think, would work. A plastic page for, like one of these that you put in a binder, that would work. I used to put my sketch inside there. Then I realized it was too hard to make notes all the way around it, which I always do with stitch counts and everything. So that's why I switched to something that I could just overlay like this. And if you have plastic pages, what you can do is just cut the end off it and cut out just one layer of it and use that over the top of your design. But it really helps. In the beginning, I'd always get smudges from my pencil on my tatting itself. So, are there any questions about anything else that's on the supply list? I haven't seen any come in. So many different explanations, yes. And that can take forever to figure out what it might be. Okay, let's go on from the design list and open up the design process. And I'm going to open that up on my screen and switch you to my screen. Okay, a design process is kind of a universal process that is used across the board. Many different fields, many different industries, many different and art designers, and similar to the principles, the elements and principles of design, each field maybe has a little different version of it. I've seen anywhere from, and this tells you a little bit about it, I've seen anywhere from 4 to, 8 maybe different steps, and they, for each field, writes the list to pertain to their particular industry and what works best for them. Although the basic processes, some of the steps are always the same. And if you read through this, many different ways to begin a tatting design, and what you're going to do is find out your style through experimenting and experience to find the way it works best for you. And sometimes, depending upon the project itself, you'll learn that maybe one way works good for you for a particular design, but another way might work different for a different design. You don't always need to use a project plan, which we're going to get into, but I find that when you're a beginning designer, having some form of structure really helps. And the purpose, and we'll look at the project worksheet itself in a bit, but the design itself, it's a way to help you break down your project into small steps, easier to handle, so that you don't feel so overwhelmed with everything it's going to take to do it. And it tells you a few of the typical things that happen. These are only guidelines, but the biggest thing to remember is during the process to document everything and do it in detail. And don't discard, oh, this is not my newest sheet. Well, it's similar to the one that you're getting, and I don't think this is the one, because I think this one was my old one. Uh, Please do not discard any tiny bits or pieces of tatting or documentation. You never know what you might use them for in the future. It might be a small little tiny piece of tatting, maybe only a few rings and chains or whatever. But you never know when that particular piece would be perfect for another project. And you're going to wish you had kept it. You're thinking back and think, I remember doing something similar, but I don't remember exactly what it was. So keep all your documentation. And the two steps that are most important are incubation time. There are times when, if you're having a problem with your design, set it out somewhere where you can see it. Maybe on your kitchen counter, maybe on a corner of your desk, but just some place where you can kind of look at it from afar and not so close up. And sometimes when we're looking at something close up, we're really into the details and all like that, that we miss something in the overall design or the way the design is expressing itself to you. So you may have to set something aside for a while and come back to it. And if you look at it every once in a while, maybe something you saw the day before, and then you look at it the next day and you think, oh my gosh, what if I did this to my design? Designing is a lot of associations. Inventors, they take one thing and they take another thing and they think, oh, what if I put these together and combine them? That's how so many things, even basic things like our light bulbs and all those early inventions, those inventors, they saw different things and kind of collected them in their mind, and your mind is a really powerful tool, and sometimes things will just come together or pop out at you. And evaluation. It's a step, just like incubation, but it's also used off and on throughout the project, just like incubation is. So I've separated those out and highlighted them just to know that you're continually going back to those kinds of things. Designing is not a straight line process. A lot of times the visuals that you see that show a design process will see each of the things, like just these words, concept and plan and prototype and evaluate and all these. They'll just have words in a circle with arrows going around, and you come back to the beginning. And then also you might jump from step 2 to step 4. You might not use all the steps in a particular design, but it's really a way to help you keep organized and think about what you need to do. I am going to go download the one actually from the that you guys downloaded. I don't think I have. That's the Facebook group. Let me go grab the... Okay. As you can see, the wording up on top says the same thing as what I've been saying, but it's a little bit different. Okay, we are now in step 1, the concept. And what we had talked about was doing paisley designs, which I'm really excited about. But Kathleen mentioned earlier working on a doily. If there's any time when something just pops in your mind and you really want to do it, do that. You don't have to follow the theme. It's just to help you get started if you don't have any idea or anything. And it's always fun to work on a particular thing together and be able to chat about, how our process is coming. I had mentioned before having a Facebook group that's private, but what I am really thinking I would like to do, if anyone's interested, is, and I may want to see my chat at the moment, find out if there's any, oops, where did my live stream go? Got to keep track of my chat here. Oh, hi, Tasmeen. I'm going to shorten your name. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right. Hi, Susan. Welcome. Sound is a bit low. I don't think I can talk a little louder, but I think maybe that might be something in your settings. Is anyone else having trouble hearing me? Do I just need to talk louder? Well, let me know how the sound is doing for you. I'll talk a little louder. No, you're not having trouble? Okay. Okay, great. I hope you can hear Tasneen. Okay, so let's go back to the design sheet. So we are in the concept, idea, and research. If you have a design idea already, that's fine. If not, and even if you have an idea, research is your first step. Ideas are everywhere. And when you're looking for ideas, you want to consider what or who the project is for. Maybe a new idea, maybe a technique that you want to use. You may be tatting a design that's for a challenge or for teaching a class, and all that's going to affect your design. And it might be something that's a usable piece, something that's going to be washed a lot. And so you have to consider how it's going to be attached to whatever you're putting it on, like a t-shirt or something, and how sturdy it is. And so those things are all things you have to consider. And we're going to be using our project sheet to write down some of those. Brainstorming is important. Brainstorm ideas, techniques, thread colors, anything that comes to mind, no matter how weird or strange it is, add it to a brainstorming list. It can be just a piece of paper where you scribble down things in a long list. And that is something, that list, you're going to want to put, when you're finished with it, with the project you're working on, keep it in a file or in a notebook or someplace where you can go back and use it again, and maybe some of the ideas you discarded will be great for the next project. I found a quote, and at the moment I don't even know where I got it from, and it says, at this stage, there are two potential traps that any project team must avoid. Some companies stick to realistic ideas, often aiming too low in the process. And that's the thing. Ideas that seem outrageous or weird or funny, you never know. They might just turn in to be the best project ever or best result. So a brainstorming list it's just a list on a piece of paper. So, and nobody else is going to see it. So it doesn't matter what strange things you put down on it. If it came to your mind, then it's something that you should remember and you should write down. collect ideas, photos, pictures. If you're out for a nature walk and you see a particular flower or leaf you like, take a picture of it. When people are doing art journaling and sketching and drawing and anything, even photography, you ever notice photos that somebody's taken of a design on the pavement or what do I want to say? Cracks in a sidewalk. You never know what patterns and things might, maybe not the particular thing itself, but it might inspire you to do something. So you want to keep all of that. And I'm going to show you some of mine today in a few minutes. Now, a lot of people, the next one, study what has already been done. A lot of people say, well, then I'm afraid I'm going to copy what they've done. Well, if you've been in tatting very long, you've seen a lot of designs, and those are probably somewhere stored in your mind. So it may happen anyway, you know? And what I feel is if you look at what's already been done, you can look for what hasn't been done. When I was studying leaves, I ended up with this sheet of paper, it's too messy to even show anybody, although I probably will at some point. I realized most everything, not everything, was very symmetrical. And leaves aren't always symmetrical. One side may look different than the other. And the most interesting designs are often the ones that are asymmetrical. And yes, it's easier to tat up one side of something and do the exact thing on the other side in the opposite order. But for a beautiful design and an original design, think about the asymmetrical. Think about what hasn't been done. There's techniques now, new techniques that haven't been used in much, and things like that. Now, whether or not you can draw, make some very rough sketches. Nobody else has to see them, and I did some sketching last week to show you how, it can be messy, it can be anything. All that it needs to be is when you look at it, you want to know what it is. Eventually, you're going to have to refine it, and so you have a good outline to tap by, unless you're one of those people who can just look at a picture and tat it. But nowadays, putting a diagram on a pattern is almost necessary. There's so many people in the world that are much more visual than they are good at reading, interpreting designs. It's just a different learning style. So diagrams are necessary. So, and anybody who can, I've said this, I tend to say it a lot, if you can write your name, you can draw. We're not talking about drawing well. You will have to refine a diagram, of course, so it's all in proportion, but there are tips and hints and ways you can do that. So then you get to the point, consider all the possibilities and begin to narrow down what possibilities might be the best. Now, I'm not going to talk about all these today, but we will look at number 2, plan and refine. Choose the best possibility and begin planning the design. Or maybe there's 2 or 3 that you want to follow through on and see what works best. And start thinking about the size, the shape, the color, tatting techniques, stitches, and all of the possibilities to use for it. Now at this point, you can write the plans down using the project planning worksheet. You might do mind mapping. And right now we're kind of doing an overview, so let me just go. I haven't done this, and I'm going to do it right now. If any of you don't know what mind mapping is, I'm just going to put in my Google search. Mind maps. And go to images. You may have done this in school. They're just visual ideas. Some of them are very neat looking, like this one in the upper right. Some of them are very messy looking. They can be whatever way works best for you. And as you can see, there's just all kinds of them. Here's one that's, where'd it go? There was one that was really geometric. So this is what mind mapping is. You usually start at the center and start branching out. One branch might be possible techniques you want to use. One might be possible colors. So you just start branching out and writing down all your, it's like a brainstorming map is what it is. And that can help a lot of people. Oops. Okay, so here we are. Then you're going to start refining your sketch, begin your diagram, and you're going to begin tatting. Now, you can start right out with the next step, a prototype, which is a first version before it's finished and completed, or maybe a second version or a third prototype. This is where you start going back and forth. You might have to go back and redo your sketch, redo your diagram. And I hope I've got to look at my chat box again. Techniques for pointed chains and coiled centers, please. Oh, yes. I love the pointed chain technique and other ways to make pointed chains. And on a paisley, we do have a point. So, yes, we can talk about both of those next week. It's a good time to start getting into some of the techniques that we can use to shape our design. You often get stuck there. Okay, yeah, and up here, I don't think I wrote it in, but as you're starting your diagram and you have your sketch, you want to start figuring out your tatting path. I left that out. I'll have to put it in. And when you start getting to that too, you're going to start seeing the shapes that are in your design, and a lot of things have points and coiled centers. So we'll definitely do that. It wasn't long ago we talked about coiled centers, so we can kind of do a review on that, because that is a coiled center is a good way to start the end of a paisley. So let's finish up this quick. Start narrowing down your possibilities. Plan and refine, and then you're going to start tatting. You might start tatting samples of any techniques that you're not familiar with. In order to be a designer, one of the things you have to do is have a good knowledge of tatting techniques and tatting terms. And tatting terms, of course, you're going to learn a lot in Tammy's regular tatting classes. And techniques, she'll be doing a lot of techniques like she has before. You can find most topics on anything in the videos on the online tatting classes. And this class is the tatting design class, even though it's on my own channel. I am associated with the online tatting class and part of the online tatting class. which is why I use designs from there and things. It just was a YouTube problem quite a long time back that made it work better if I was, because of the number of viewers and everything, um, working on my own channel. So that's where we're going to stop on this. The other one's prototype and instructions, evaluate, collaborate, and adjust, questions and answers, talk to people, find out what they think, what questions they might have and answers, and that especially comes in the fifth stage, testing, where you have the pattern tested by others. One person, more than one person, and then you're going to evaluate, collaborate, refine, improve, and all through this process, and you're experimenting, trying to fit pieces together and parts to fit your idea. Sometimes your idea will have to change a little because something that you want might not fit right, and it might just be something that can't work in that particular design. I should just mention a couple here. Stops and new starts usually happen, and lots of retro tatting and frogging, which is undoing stitches and retatting. You know, frogging, like ribbit, rip it out. Now, I technically don't recommend ripping it out unless you have a piece that you're working on and you want to keep going on it. But if it's near the beginning, cut it off, put it in your little snippets pile, and keep it for later. Do keep it on an index card and a little baggie with information about it, what the stitch count was, and any information that might be pertinent, because again, it might be just what you want at a later date. So I'm going to close this and let's open the project sheet. I'm going to go back and just open it from here. Now, there is both a Word doc. Oh, it looks like I put a the in front of one. Those are both the same. And there's a PDF. The PDF you can just download and write on it. I do that a lot. But for anyone who wants to do all their thinking and planning on the computer, there's a Word doc so that you can download it. And you know, when you click on the Word doc, I hope you're all seeing, let me check the chat again. Are you all seeing the Tatting Design class page on your screen? I guess I should look at my... Okay, yeah, I see. It looks like it should be showing. Whoops, did I just lose it? Nope, I just opened up another page. Okay. You know how when you work a PDF, it pops up the PDF window. And this is what it looks like. But if you click the doc version, notice it doesn't pop up, but in the upper right hand corner, you can see I've opened it quite a few times this morning. It pops up in this upper right hand corner, and you can click on it and it's going to open up your Word and open it up in there. Now it is going to say be careful, and up here it says in that little peach colored bar, enable editing. If you click on that, now you're going to be able to edit this. You can change it if you want. If you're not using beads, you could select that section, this whole section, and just delete it. So anyone who wants to make this in their own personal, to fit their own personal preferences and the way you work, can change it. So if you look at your sheet, one of the big changes I did make this time was I lightened all the lines, because I feel like lines are nice to help you guide and keep your writing straight and even if that's what you like. And it does make it better. I know when I just write, I don't have even lines. I end up with such a mess I can't read it or understand it when I go back to look at it. And I thought it lets then the topics stand out more, but still gives you guidelines. So I hope that works well for you. The other thing is when you print it out, it takes less ink to print the grayed lines instead of black lines. You're going to use less of your black ink, and that's something I'm always thinking of because ink's gotten so expensive. So here you're going to put your name, designed by, and the date. I think the date is always important because you may want to go back and see, well, when did I first design this project? And this isn't an official document, but it would have the date that you could say, look, I designed this back, if somebody else copied your design, I started designing this back in, say, 1995, you know? And it's not an official document. Nobody could prove that you didn't do it later, but at least it helps you remember the project name, the type. Now the type could be whether it's decoration, or no, that's down here. The project type, I think for mine, I'll show you the one I started. I actually wrote in there, I'll tell you, I wrote down tatting and crochet because I want to try working with either. Now these are possible, this whole sheet is your planning, but it's kind of it's a worksheet too. You may end up changing things as you go, but it gives you a place to start. On most of it, I'll use pencil in case I do want to erase anything or change it. But project type, I put down tatting and crochet. Whether or not I actually do actual crochet or just some slip stitching somewhere, you know, whatever I do. The purpose, my paisley's going to be decorative. Although I guess somebody might want to put it on a t-shirt or something. But these are just guides to help you. If you don't want to put any of those in, don't. Now the size. Like I know I want to go with a 3-inch design. That always seems like a good 2.5 to 3 inches is a good common size of a motif. Although I might put them more than one together. Brainstorming ideas and possibilities, techniques you might want to use. And then when you start thinking about them, let them percolate. Select 1 to 3 ideas and techniques that you think are going to be the best. And now you might not fill all this out in the beginning. You might not know until you get started tatting. But this lets you put down the thread type, the size, the number of shuttles, or if it's number of needles and needle sizes needed. If you want beads, you can put in the type, the size, color, and how many. Possible color schemes. Not next week, but I think the following week we'll talk some about color and color schemes. And color. I think everybody always seems to enjoy that. How about you guys? Would you like to talk about color again? And for you new people who haven't talked about it yet, I'm going to look at the chat. Are there any other questions before I go on about the design process or the worksheet? And you can always, you don't have to use any of these tools. You can use your own organization methods and whatever works for you. Find your classes helpful and inspirational and make us bold enough to try out things we imagine. Oh, thank you. Color, yes, please. Okay. Thank you, Tasneem. That's what I aim for. I want it to be inspirational and hope that people will try and experiment because anything you do, you learn from. even if it's something you consider a mistake or something, well, this didn't work, you're learning and you're improving your skills and you're getting better. Looking forward to color. Okay, great. Okay, so to go back to our project sheet here, then there's a place to add in notes. And then we talked about, at the bottom, was add mind maps, rough sketches, printed images, photos you've taken, images out of magazines, printed images out of the internet, and any other information and more notes. You can do that on the back side of this. And I haven't made, put a grid or boxes or anything in there because it really depends upon your project. So as we do this, we'll get into more samples of things like this. So if there's no questions about this project sheet, we'll go on to the next piece. Which is actually, I'm going to show you some of my research and get some things closed here. That's not what I want. Did I say everything that's on here? Yep, that's not something I need. So I'm going to go to my little folder here. This is what I really dislike about Windows 11. It keeps grabbing my windows, and if I put them too close to the top or too... Oh, that's not the folder I want. This is the folder I want. That doesn't look right either. I'm sorry. Let me go home to my desktop and find my folder again. Okay. Last week we saw... Oh, here's another thing I didn't mention. In your research, search your own inspirational collections. As you are doing this, and maybe I'm sure many of you already have ideas and all that you've seen or things you've clipped out of magazines or whatever. Keep them in a folder or a file, in a folder on your computer. Keep everything that interests you. If you're in a store and see something that you love the colors, take a photo of it, just the colors, or write them down. Keep all of this in a some type of organization that works for you. One of the things that inspired me last week, and I've made this sheet for myself, and and you'll see what I did is we saw this upper right design, this green and orange one, and I just fell in love with that. And so I went and researched it. It was on Pinterest, and found, I'm going to go to this link. I always go back to find the original links, and I like to keep the links of where this is and whose work it is. Oops, this probably came up somewhere and I don't know which. Oh, here it came on. This is, her name's Prudence Mapstone, and this is a book I found that she's written, Bullions on and Beyond. It's all crochet, okay? And what she does is freeform tatting. The second link on that page is her website, Not Just Knitting. And you'll see she does lots of freeform crochet. Go to her artworks. And you can see she's just really innovative. And that's what we need to be in our tatting designs. So this is what I do because I always want to know whose work it is. I'm going to turn to my face again. Now I'm not just going to take that the crochet design and copy it. Now there's debate. Even Tammy, I've debated if it's in a different form like crochet. The thing is, the design itself, the shape, and everything is a copyrighted design. So even in tatting, I wouldn't copy it and make it look exactly the same. I will probably use the bullion tatting stitch in mine, but I'm not going to make it look exactly like hers. So now I'm going to show you some, I guess you'd call it eye candy, because I'm going to start by showing you a site that provides a lot of pre-done designs that you can use. And I'm sure you've heard of Dover.com. I'm going to go there for just a second and pull it up. Whoops. I guess we're going to spend a lot of time looking at the screen today, because here's my screen again. And here I am. Whoops, I didn't spell it right. Dover.com. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, let me put in Dover Books Publishing. That's what we'll go to. Dover Books Online. Dover Books is a wonderful resource. I've been buying them since I don't remember. I have a huge collection of them. And they have, let's see if I haven't been to their site in a while. Now we'll start out at their home page. They have all kinds of 25% off $30. They have lots of sales. You can also, well, come on, I don't want to do that. New releases. There's also they have Dover Rewards, free coloring newsletter. There is a spot here where you can sign up to get weekly samples, free samples. It's free to join, and every week they'll send you sample designs, which is I like to collect those. I have a folder of those, great ideas and things. But a lot of their books, and let's just put in Art for Craftsman. They have books, and this is the one I was going to show you today. This is one of the first books of theirs I ever bought. Now this one does not have a CD with it. A lot of their books do come with CDs now. But these are, this is a treasury of design for arts and craftsmen, $12.95 paperback. And I'm going to close this now that you know where it is. And I'm going to go to my face again. And my book should be right beside me. Here we go. I have a whole stack of them to show you. This is that Treasury and Design for Artists and Craftsmen. Now on the back of this, what it says is, if you're an artist or designer, craft worker, or art student, the price of this volume may be best investment you've ever made. Let's see down in the last. Okay, just select the designs you need, use them alone or in combination with other elements, apply them intact or altered to your needs, repeat individual items to form patterns. No permission or payment is required. Now, some of their books do say that this one doesn't, and it's talking about doing an individual design. Sometimes some of the books say you can use up to 10 of these designs royalty-free in one particular project. I don't think that. I believe in design, and you can do whatever you want with that because this is made for that. And they have a lot of books. You can see I have a lot of bookmarks up here. I don't even know. I haven't looked at them in a long time. Here's one of them. But this book is, oh my gosh, I don't know how many pages it's got. Plate 92. But look at this, how thick it is. Look at the designs in here. From big to little to just about anything. And even though there's a lot, they look very decorative, you can just take some of the outline shapes. Now this book has more than just paisleys in it, as you can see. It's got all other kinds of designs of all kinds. Here's one, Chinese butterfly designs, and this one comes with a CD in the back. Yeah, it's in there. Comes with a CD in the back. And this is interesting. If you want to do a butterfly, look at some of the different outline shapes and all you could do. Let's see what this one says. I can't read it. You can easily browse, print, craft, and rotate the images. So you can do a lot on your computer with these images. One of them that I love and haven't worked from yet, Art Forms in Nature. Now this one isn't one for you to copy from, but you can get ideas out of here. There's just any kind of nature form you could think of. Real pictures of their shells and things and spirals, and it's a very inspiring book. You could take just one little piece of something and turn it into a design. And this one again, traditional floral designs and motifs. A lot of different designs in it. So that is a good place to get designs and inspiration. And I'm going to show you my project sheet here. I think it's sitting right over here. I took it off my clipboard. This is the beginning of my design sheet. See, I can put down tatting and crochet, and then I've started some ideas. Paisleys can be, you can make a simple paisley, one design, but I'm thinking paisleys for the flower petals or the leaf, and I do it in greens of some kind, butterfly wings. Maybe I'll use beads. If it's flower petals, it'll be bright. I'm going to use Elizabeth, and I'm going to make it out of size 20. And over here, what did I write over here? Oh, techniques. Bullions, triple stitch, crochet slip stitch, the crab stitch, which is working a regular tatting stitch backwards, I believe. I love the edging it makes. And you can do it with, tatters. We always have a small crochet hook, and a lot of us use a shuttle with a hook on it. So I want to try combining those. They used to combine tatting and crochet. Years ago, they did a lot, and they combined tatting with needle lace, and we need more patterns like that nowadays. A lot of people are into more than one fiber art. And now I'm going to, both of these pages are going to go in a notebook for me. And here's some of the other pages. I don't know, where did I set those? Oh, here they are. Okay. I don't know whether to hold this up or you could look at the, let me go to my down camera. I'll show you some samples that I already have for myself. Here is a paisley that I've started. And now when you buy pieces parts, here's a other color. A spiral I did one time. With picots in between. See it better. This way. Now I didn't have to write down the stitch counts or anything for this. So I'm going to have to do that. And then I'll probably put it in one of these little small baggies. And I don't have a large index card with me, but I would use the larger size index card to write on, and then I'd put the sample samples in the baggie, and use removable double-sided tape to stick my baggie on, so that I can pull it off. So, and this piece would go probably in one of these. Whoops! As you can see, this is one of those plastic folders that can go in a binder. That's got the pockets you can slide things in. And this happens to be my angel pattern. And I would just then slide my index card and all in there. Whether I keep it in notebook or not, maybe not. What I tend to do when I'm working on a project is put all my sheets together and use these little plastic rings that you can buy to bind your pages together. And it makes it really easy to flip and turn. And that's what I'm going to do with all my pages. A couple of my other ideas that I have put aside for using in my paisleys are this little. I love the beads on this. See if I can hold it still and get it to focus. That happens to be a ring that's the hand. And this is the edge of an angel sleeve. But I like the way the beads are done in this method. So I may try putting that outside of my paisley. Another thing, I have this little teeny piece of a tail. Is it going to focus in? To start an inside spiral. This is the end of a seahorse tail. And again, somewhere I do have my seahorse pattern, and I have stitch count now for this, and I'm going to add it to an index card and attach this to it. So I have that. When we talk about paisleys, remember the tulip from the class that Tammy did one year. And bunnies and tulips and bunnies. I think. Notice these petals are kind of a paisley shape. Not quite, but close. And this is what was being talked about, the upjoin and downjoin for that Katia talked about in her class, which overlaps which ring. And I'm thinking of doing something big like this and similar to it, because I have a design. I'm going to show you here a second. These are a portion of my paisley pages and ideas. Now that obviously came out of that book. Oh, and look what fell out. A lot of times if I've got things in a binder, I will take a baggie, and you probably can't see, but there are, oh, there's one. You can see the hole right there, I think. Right there. And one down there. Right down there. And I will hook this in the binder with the pages, because this actually goes with this page and that design. That's what this is. Oops. Only in a different color. It might be a little different version too. So I know I was going to write in here too. I have different pages. I wonder if I can see where my, oh, here's my flower. I'm going to put that down on the table. See, here is a design that I thought for a bookmark one time. And see how I've used the paisleys, and I'll make a stem. There's one I put stars in. There's another one that I thought of using beads similar to the thing. So this is what I do. This sheet. Get rid of that. You can see it's just got all kinds of paisley possibilities, and all kinds of messy things on it. And that's okay, because I can understand every one of them. Now, I think that's about it for today. Is anybody excited to start on a paisley? Uh-oh, where did my YouTube go? I think I lost my studio. I don't even know if you can still hear me. Did I use you?
Did I
Oh,
use
okay.
you?
Just
Oh,
what
okay.
that goes.
Just what that goes.
I'm echoing. I'm
echoing.
Frozen
I'm
again.
frozen
Oh, dear.
again.
Oh dear.
Well, I hope you can hear me now.
I hope you saw
the things that I
showed you.
Did you see what
Did
I've
you see what I've been
showing you?
The pages.
The pages.
Oh, my down camera.
Oh, my down camera.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how to turn
I
off
don't know
the
how to
sound
turn off
just
the
on
sound
the down
just on
camera.
the down camera.
But did you see on my down camera
was
everything,
there a point
or was there a point where I showed books and everything? Hi, Carol. I'm glad you like the
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. So I hope you're
So I hope you're excited to
start
start
a Paisley
or
design,
even
or
it's
even
inspired you
it's
to start
inspired you to
anything
start
else.
anything else.
So
Wonderful.
wonderful.
I guess now you can see me again.
I'm glad you saw everything. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I look forward to next week. If you have even 5 minutes, sit down and play around with the ideas and brainstorming on the project sheet. You'll get without about that. I'm not sure what you're saying, Katia. Oops, with you about the classes and the down camera. Oh, that'd be wonderful. I know I turned off my computer volume. It's muted. I don't know what to do about the down camera. At some point, I hope to have a new camera, but that's not quite in the budget yet since I went to Palmetto's recently. Well, happy to have you all here. Thanks for coming. Happy designing. And if you ever have any questions, email me at sktattingclasses.com, or not .com, at gmail.com. And, I mentioned something in the beginning. I had talked about opening up the private design class Facebook group again, but I know not everybody uses it. What I'm considering is doing a once-a-month Zoom meeting. I can have quite a few people under their free plan, and we would each be able to share what we're working on. But it would be private, so it would only be the people that actually attend this class and are working on designs that would be there, so it wouldn't be public. So that's something I would like to do, and we can share really well that way. You're welcome, Katia and Carol and Dwayne. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Oh, you like that idea? Great.